Welcome to another edition of Eye on the Issues. And today we're going to talk with another one of the Wyoming Liberty Leaders programs members. And this is Emma Hamlin. Emma, talk to us about your background. Where do you go to school? What's your major? Let's hear about that.
Yes. Hi, everybody. My name is Emma Hamlin. I'm from East Texas, Tyler, Texas. Let's go. I am a senior at the University of Wyoming studying agricultural communications and minoring in agriculture economics. I grew up, my dad ranch rodeoed. We had, small amounts of cattle at the time and always grew up being outside, just having a super deep appreciation for agriculture all throughout my life. I've ridden horses, I've worked cattle, I've been in the trenches when it comes to ag.
That's very impressive. Now, the report you did is titled Nuclear Development and the Future of Wyoming's Public Lands. The state of Wyoming would be in a lot of trouble if we didn't have ranches and farmers out there, I gather, eh?
Yes, yes. And so this is I guess I'd say a comparative analysis of the nuclear regulatory frameworks across several states and how Wyoming can further prepare for the incoming nuclear development that is going to be coming to the state.
And so when you have a state like Wyoming or Texas for that matter, where there's so much land, but then you've got the energy industry that wants to come in there and they want to build, for example, a nuclear power plant or put a whole bunch of wind farms out there or solar panels out there. I mean, you've got to balance both, right?
Yes, yes. I firmly believe that there can be a balance between two different industries. And in this case, there seems to be a little bit more of a push for the nuclear industry and kind of pulling back on our support for the ag industry. And so I think that there can totally be a balance between incoming development and construction and how we can also protect our farmers and ranchers who are out there every single day combating weather and anything like that.
And from what I gathered going over your report, certain states have different regulations when it comes to this and the balancing act, correct?
Yes, yes. And so we highlighted a couple different states. We highlighted Minnesota and Nebraska, which have a lot more strict regulations on different tests.
Some are more restrictive, and some really want to find out, I guess, drill down, if you will. And other states are a little more hands off, and they say, okay, well, we want both, and we're not really willing to be strict. So you got Minnesota that you talked about. You've got Nebraska, as you wrote. Nebraska follows closely behind Minnesota in regulatory strictness, particularly due to its explicit inclusion of agriculture within radiological emergency planning. Kind of comment on that.
Yes, so Nebraska as everyone knows, is a very, very ag heavy state. And so as well as wanting to be able to talk and have a little bit of nuclear development in the state, they are very, very pro ag and want to make sure that no matter what, that their farmers and ranchers are protected no matter what, whether that be farms and ranches that are bordering or neighboring these development facilities, just making sure that they have tests going through testing the water, air, food supplies, the land, making sure that no nuclear waste or any radioactive materials are able to infiltrate that, and just to make sure that they're watching out and making sure that their farms and ranchers are safe.
Now, if you had to say there was one of the biggest, I guess, surprises, if you will, when you did your research for this paper, what would you say that was?
I think it was having South Carolina as being the most lenient in their regulatory framework. Something that I found out is that South Carolina is among one of the most active states in the nation for nuclear related operations, power generation, nuclear material management, fabrication, anything like that. And even though South Carolina, they do have a good amount of farmers and ranchers out there. It's very surprising that they're a little more lenient when it comes to looking at these facilities and saying it's okay if they're here. We're not going to necessarily do a ton of tests whenever it comes to radioactive material. Yes, I think that was the most surprising.
And do you think states are really prepared for this new chapter, if you will, going forward of making, making room for ag and farming and ranching, and then this nuclear development that has gotten a tremendous push since Donald Trump came to office, where he said, we're going to cut regulations and we're going to let you guys move forward rather quickly.
Yes, I think again, it really just depends on the state. There are some states that are very much we're gonna back our farmers and ranchers. We're gonna back our private landowners and making sure that that our folks are protected, and we're gonna make sure that that our communities are safe. And then there are other states that are very much they're very pro-nuclear, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I just think that there are some that are prepared and some that are ready to take that head on, and there are some states that I fear are maybe a little bit lacking and might need to catch up.
Mhm. And what did you enjoy the most about doing this project?
I wow, there were so many things. I have through my education at the University of Wyoming and being able to take so many different classes in journalism and law, I have so enjoyed being able to write recommendations for legislature, anything with policy. I have also just enjoyed being able to finally find my voice and advocate for the industry that has pretty much raised me. I have to say, I would not be anywhere where I am today if it weren't for the ag industry, if it weren't for my parents, for my neighbors. Shout out to everybody who helped out down in Texas whenever it came to dealing with me. But I know that the ag industry has, first of all, it has taught me hard work and strong, strong ethics is everything. It's a good foundation for whenever you're working out in America. So
And give us your impression on the education you're getting at the University of Wyoming.
I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, I've gotten to take so many courses as a senior that I honestly wish I would have taken a little bit sooner so I could take even more of them. Two of my favorite classes that I have taken were agricultural law and public policy, public ag policy, both taught by Sarah Fallon Tate. She is such an amazing human being, and she is the one that has taught me so much about um, just putting yourself out there and being willing to just say the hard things, be the voice for somebody who may not have the ability to speak up. And so doing this report and trying to be a voice for the ag industry in the Texas and Wyoming has been amazing, but just I repping the American ag industry is my passion. So
That's awesome. Good to hear. Good to hear that you found your voice at, I would say, rather a young age, because lots of people don't find it till much later. And you kind of touched on this, but I'd like you to comment again. Tell us about your internship experience at the Wyoming Liberty Group, and what did you enjoy most about it?
I enjoyed writing. I usually I'm not a big report person, I'm not a big essay person, but being able to collaborate on something like this that's going to hopefully reach a ton of people has been amazing working with Mandy and David and just kind of going back. I've always looked forward to our Wednesday morning meetings and just talking about how we could better portray you know information and how to really just being able to push a lot of different information and here's the thing, this report is chock full of information, and just being able to make it easier for people to digest. And I've loved every single minute of it. This internship truly has taught me this is what I want to do with my life.
That is absolutely fantastic. Okay. Is there anything else that you want to mention? I know there's a lot of information in this report, but is there anything you want to mention before we go? Is there anything I missed that you think is very important?
Well, I guess just to say that, whether you're pro-nuclear or anti-nuclear, that this industry is coming. With this administration, it's very much that this was the forefront. This is very active policy that's going on right now in our country. And, I won't say if I'm pro or anti, but I mean, it's coming. Just to being able to properly prepare and strengthen our policy, our regulations, whenever it comes in. This goes for every state, but especially for Wyoming, since a lot of their public lands are being looked at right now for a lot of nuclear construction. But just being able to say that you're prepared, and that, something that I've always felt as a Texan, and that I know a lot of Wyomings feel, is that their state cares about them, whether you're an ag or private landowner, public leasing. Like I said, you want to feel backed and you want to feel protected by your state wherever you're living. And so just hoping that Wyoming's able to step up to the plate and say, you know what, we care about the people who are living here, and we want to make sure that everybody's interests are represented in this. So
It's fantastic. All right, Emma Hamlin, thank you so much for your time. A great report. Loved reading it. Lots of information. Folks out there, if you want to find out more about what's happening around Wyoming, just go to wyliberty.org. Sign up for our newsletter. Emma, thanks again.
yes, thank you.
You bet.